Alex Eala's 2026 results before Indian Wells and Miami Open. Alex Eala will begin her Sunshine Swing campaign soon, with her Indian Wells Open campaign set to open by Friday. The Sunshine Swing features a series of North American tournaments, including the Merida Open, WTA 500, in Mexico and the ATX Open, WTA 250, in Austin, Texas. Eala, meanwhile, will compete in the marquee WTA 1000 events, the Indian Wells Open from March 4th to 15th and the Miami Open from March 17th to 29th. Indian Wells is widely regarded as the fifth Grand Slam, as it is one of the most prestigious ATP and WTA tournaments outside of the four major championships. At only 20 years old, Alex Eala has become one of the most exciting young players on the Women's Tennis Association WTA Tour. The Filipino tennis prodigy entered the 2026 season with growing expectations after a breakthrough year that pushed her into the global spotlight. By early 2026, she had climbed to a career-high ranking around world number 31, an extraordinary achievement for a player who only recently transitioned from junior success to consistent performances on the professional circuit. The start of the 2026 season served as an important test for Eala. She faced a packed schedule that included tournaments across Australia, Asia, and the Middle East before heading to the prestigious Sunshine Swing in the United States, the Indian Wells Open and the Miami Open. These tournaments are among the most prestigious events outside the four Grand Slams, and they often define a player's momentum early in the season. Before arriving in the Californian desert for Indian Wells and later Miami, Eala had already competed in several tournaments. Her results showed flashes of brilliance, occasional struggles against elite opponents, and the steady development of a young player learning to compete at the highest level. This is the story of Alex Eala's 2026 season before the Sunshine Swing, a journey marked by determination, growth, and the promise of greater achievements ahead. The Australian Swing, a promising start. The year began in Auckland, New Zealand, at the ASB Classic, a WTA 250 tournament that traditionally opens the season. For Eala, this event became a strong statement of intent. She battled through the early rounds with impressive performances, defeating experienced players and showing composure under pressure. Her run eventually took her all the way to the semifinals, where she faced China's Wang Xinyu. After a tightly contested match, Eala fell short, losing in 3 sets. Despite the defeat, reaching the semifinals was an encouraging start to the season and demonstrated that she could compete with established players on the tour. The Auckland campaign highlighted many of Eala's strengths: aggressive baseline play, powerful left-handed ground strokes, impressive court movement. It also exposed areas she continued to develop, such as consistency in long matches and handling high-pressure moments against top-tier opponents. Still, the semifinal finish gave her valuable ranking points and confidence heading into the first Grand Slam of the year. The Australian Open, a tough lesson. The Australian Open in Melbourne is one of the biggest stages in tennis. For young players like Eala, competing in a Grand Slam main draw is both an opportunity and a challenge. In the 2026 tournament, Eala faced American Alicia Parks in the first round. The match started spectacularly for the Filipino star. She dominated the opening set, winning it 6-0, showcasing her explosive forehand and fearless shot-making. However, the momentum shifted dramatically afterward. Parks adjusted her strategy, attacking Eala's second serve and forcing longer rallies. The American eventually turned the match around and defeated Eala 0-6, 6-3, 6-2, ending the young player's singles campaign in the first round. Eala also competed in doubles alongside Ingrid Gamora Martins, but the pair exited in the opening round. Although the Australian Open ended earlier than hoped, the tournament still provided valuable experience. Grand Slams often test players mentally as much as physically, and for Eala it was another step in learning how to manage big-stage pressure. A home tournament, Philippine Women's Open. After Melbourne, Eala returned closer to home to compete in the Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 event. Playing in front of home fans brought a different kind of pressure, the expectations of an entire nation. She began strongly, winning her first 2 matches convincingly. The crowd's energy seemed to fuel her performance as she advanced to the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinal match, she faced Colombian player Camila Osorio, a former junior world #1 known for her defensive skills and counterpunching style. Osorio managed to control the rhythm of the match and eventually defeated Eala 6-4, 6-4, ending her run in the tournament. Despite the loss, the event was meaningful for Eala. Playing in Manila strengthened her connection with Filipino tennis fans and reminded many observers of how far she had come as the country's leading tennis figure. Abu Dhabi Open. Progress in the Middle East. The next stop in Eala's 2026 season was the Abu Dhabi Open, a WTA 500 event that attracts many of the world's top players. Eala delivered another impressive performance. She advanced through the early rounds with victories over Zeynep Sonmez and Alexandra Sasnovich, demonstrating both resilience and tactical awareness. Her run eventually reached the quarterfinals, where she faced Russian star Ekaterina Alexandrova, the tournament's second seed. Alexandrova's powerful serving and aggressive baseline play proved difficult to counter. Eala fought hard but ultimately lost 6-3. Nevertheless, reaching the quarterfinals of a WTA 500 tournament was a significant accomplishment. It showed that Eala could consistently compete in the later rounds of high-level events. In doubles, she also enjoyed success. Partnering with Janice Tien, she advanced to the semifinals, further demonstrating her versatility on the court. Qatar Open, a difficult tournament. From Abu Dhabi, the tour moved to Doha for the Qatar Open, one of the biggest tournaments of the Middle East swing and classified as a WTA 1000 event. For Eala, however, this tournament proved challenging. She faced rising Czech talent Tereza Valentova in the first round. The match was competitive in the early stages, with the first set decided by a tiebreak. Valentova edged the tiebreak and then dominated the second set, defeating Eala 7-6, 6, 6-1. The early exit was disappointing, but such results are common during a long season. Even top players experience sudden losses on the tour, especially in tournaments with deep and highly competitive fields. Dubai Tennis Championships, a breakthrough run. The Dubai Tennis Championships became the highlight of Eala's early 2026 season. Dubai is one of the most prestigious tournaments outside the Grand Slams, and performing well there can significantly boost a player's reputation. Eala rose to the occasion with a remarkable run. She defeated several strong opponents on her way to the quarterfinals. One of the most impressive victories came against Italy's Jasmine Paolini, a top 10 player at the time. Eala also defeated Romania Sorana Sustia to secure her place in the last 8.